Hello, flighty clouds, and welcome to Color Theory 2.0. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in this video, but it's going to be long and meandering. And I am armed with Coca-Cola and cigarettes and chocolate muffins, so I'm going to get a sugar high in a little bit. That's going to be exciting. And you're along for the ride. Okay. So here is your photo. And what I said earlier, that, let's see. Right. Change it to a normal brush. That the light is reflecting, well, it's coming from the source above, and it's reflecting up here. But then I realized that it isn't. It's not doing that. That doesn't make any sense. Because light should be reflecting this way, not up. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe if the sofa is highly reflective, but sofas generally aren't. You know, it's just fabric. It's not highly reflective unless it's a very fine fabric like silk, or you know, the finest bit of cotton in all the land. Something like that. Okay, so we are going to, since this is a warm light that he is bathed in, we're gonna work out how to make the shadows cool, right? Alright, so we're gonna try some things, a couple of things. Like right here, you have gone from, let's open the color picker. You have gone from this to this, which is the shadow is more or less just a darkened version of the original color. Am I correct in saying that? Yes, yes I am. Yes sir, yes sir. Okay. So, what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to desaturate this color instead. Aim it towards the white, the gray area here. Just to see what happens. Interesting. Interesting. This is weird. Let's pull back a bit. And this should be a cool shadow. And it's not reflecting color from the sofa or the couch, but still I'm gonna keep at it for some weird reason. I just want to see what happens. And this bit, this dark shadow here, that might actually reflect some light from the sofa because it's facing almost outwards. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick some red, and yeah, I'm not really sure what we're gonna do. Let's see what we can do with this. See it? Maybe it's reflecting a bit of red here. And maybe there's a very thin line of reflected light on the corner here, on the edge of this. And I'm looking at the post I am writing to you, which spawned this this video. Because, well, no, because that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And maybe this is too much gray. Feels like it's way too much. I'm gonna try and blend it out. Let's pull back. Yeah, this might make sense. It might make sense. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what I find. Okay, so if we are looking at this insanely bright white, we're gonna make our little cylinder. And we are going to light it with a spectacular warm shadow coming from here and on top as well. That means that this let's see, it means that this shadow should be cool, right? If it's somewhere around here, but that doesn't make any sense, does it? That doesn't look right. Let's take some blue, which is a cool, it's cool and hip. Mix those together. Not really sure what's going to happen here. Does that make sense? Because now we have a warm light, a cool shadow. So what will happen here is like right next to like the floor, the surface here, it will have that same, it's going to be warm as well, right? I think so. Now if we take out the blue, just keep the gray here, it's still cool. So the shadow is still cool. And what have we done here? Well, what we have done is we have desaturated the blue, which means that we have moved it towards the gray spectrum of this thing here, the color picker square, which incidentally should be a triangle. You see, here is the brightest, and here is the most color intense, and here is the darkest, and here's the darkest. So bright, intense, dark. That's how it ought to be, really. Fascinating stuff. Yeah, I'm not really sure, because if we look at this color that I've done now and this color, which is yours, there's not a whole lot of difference. See, it's just, it's rather subtle, isn't it? So what does that mean? Does it mean that these blue jeans here, they should be desaturated? Let's find out. I have no idea. But now they're looking lit up, right? So that's not good. That looks terrible. Let's remove that. Let's have another go. Let's aim it down towards the dark and towards the desaturated area. There's no difference what I can see. So let's check out what you did. What have you done? Okay, so we got this and we got this. Interesting. You went the other direction. I'm gonna stick to this for some reason. I'm not really sure. As I said, I'm not sure if this is correct at all. Should be noted. But at least I am fairly certain that somewhere here. Okay, I was gonna add some red, but yeah, no. Go ahead, Incube, and do that, please. Just to see what happens. I mean, this is exaggerated, but I'm fairly convinced this is correct. Might not be. Let's aim for, well, this is interesting. Do we aim for towards the white or towards the blue here if we're gonna try a highlight? Let's aim for the blue. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Kind of a neon thing here. Not sure I like that. Let's pull back. Yeah, it looks weird. I think it looks weird. Maybe you don't. Let's try it again. And no, let's try that again. And we're gonna aim for the white instead. I'm not sure I'm liking this either. And interestingly, yeah. Okay, let's say all of this is highlighted. The thing is that we have a warm light source, which may or may not be this this warm color here. So it should be in there as well. Depending on how much of a how strong that light source is, obviously. Right now it's a very strong light source. But if we look at photo shoots with professional models, and you know, the pictures I showed you, they're all taken with a white light. And that would mean that it's a cool light and warm shadows. Man, this is complicated. We're already at 15 minutes. My God. This is bugging me. I have to fix that. So what does that mean? I did some experimenting earlier in my bathroom. Don't ask me why, but let's see. This is the color of my bathroom. When it's hit by a warm light, the light bulb in my bedroom. And then I had a white shirt that I held to the ground, or to the floor, to cast a marvelous shadow. Looks something like this. Of course, it wasn't that dark. It was probably something like this. Okay, so if this is warm, which it really, okay, let's say that this is warm. It might even be a little bit more intense than this. See, this is warm. So the shadow, just gonna get all that. All right, so this is warm, and we're gonna have a cool shadow. A cool shadow is a cool shadow going this way. I don't know. I don't think so. You know, this looks like a warm shadow to me. So we're gonna remove it. We're gonna aim for a desaturated shadow instead. Which should be cooler. Interesting. Because this is correct. This should be correct. So, basically, to get a cool shadow, you have to desaturate the color. Is that what I'm trying to say? Is that what I have been trying to say for 19 minutes? Quite possibly. Okay, so is the opposite true? Let's say that you have a really, really cool light. I'm gonna have a really cool light. Let's do this first. No? Here we go. Okay, so this is a cool light. But it really isn't. It's almost the same as this. Let's get some more. So this is like a, yeah, this feels cool, right? We're gonna have the same t-shirt or fabric just to get a shadow going. So what does that mean? If we have a cool light, to get a cool shadow, we aimed it towards the gray, right? So we did this. But according to the laws of color, that's not the way to go. Instead, we're gonna aim it towards the dark, saturated area, right? So here we go. Oh, this is interesting. This really is interesting. Maybe not for you, but it is for me. And there's your dark shadow, warm shadow on a cool surface. Now, looking at this, here's a trick. Get a new layer, set it to color, and fill it with black, and you get just the values, which is good because now I can look at this and just see the values, not the colors. What we call a value study. So we can still see here that this is still a shadow. It's still a shadow. It's still darker than the thing that was the floor that is lit up, and the same goes for this. Although I should have probably, this is pretty much the same hue or nuance, and this as well. That actually makes sense in some weird, really weird way. That makes sense. So I can just this is a continuation of that trick. I can leave this black color layer, this value layer. I can just leave that hidden when I paint. So, and then when I'm done, or when I need to check, is this correct? Is this? I can just do that, and I can see the values. Now, just looking at this, I would say that the shadows here, like the closest to his body, should probably be even darker than what you got going here. So I'm going to put a new layer on top of that. Shrink that brush down. Pick a dark. Just go in like this. Yeah, because he is, there's no light coming into these creases here. Plus, it makes the light areas pop a bit more. Let's just back out. Yeah, that makes sense. Even if you would have to blend it a bit more. So yeah, there's that. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. This area, what's this? I have no idea. I don't know what this layer is for. Let's use it. I don't care. This area, around his arm, is interesting because there should be some reflective light bouncing off the edge of the sofa, or not the edge, but the surface facing up. It should bounce up on his it should bounce up on his shirt here, right? I think so, yeah. but it's barely visible. It's more like when you get in real close and someone is asking you, why didn't you? And you can say, yeah, well, take a look. I did. You piece of you know. Oh, another thing I wanted to try was this. Let's say that we have a slight reflective light coming off the sofa and to the sort of the back of his arm. Maybe I should show you instead of just talking about it. Then it's going to be light, right? Because we know that the reflected light is white. Or light. What? But it's so dark. Let's do even more. Let's turn it up. Oh yeah. So it's almost like this. Does that make sense? It doesn't. I don't think so. Maybe I took it too far. Let's erase and for God's sakes. Let's give it a little bit more. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I'm yeah. All right. So here we go. If light is reflecting onto his arm from the sofa, there needs to be some shadow, the Terminator, where neither the light from above or the reflected light is hitting, right? So we're gonna darken it up a little bit more, and we're gonna give him this Terminator where no light is coming. And that means that we have light reflecting from somewhere, probably the sofa now, from below. Alright, good. So, what we have is, we're going to darken this a little bit. Add it here. Something like that. And then, what's going to happen, this is going to be interesting. We are going to find some nice... Oh yeah, since this is so dark, we have to find a red that is lighter than that. So probably around here. Let's push it just a little bit. Does this make any sense? Maybe. I'm not sure. Sure. I really should pause the video when I think about these things. Yet I don't. I'm not sure why. Okay, we're gonna try to do something. Let's see, we pick a skin color. So I paint a cartoon face. Just pop a new layer on there. What's he doing? I don't know. I know, right? This is crazy. Oh, hello. Sure. We're gonna pick a... Where am I? Yeah. Gonna pick some colors. Okay, right, cool. Cool. Okay, now then. Let's see. If the light is coming from here. Sure. The area under his nose and under his lip and under his eyes, I mean above his eyes, his eyelids, are supposed to be, it's a warm light. So let's say that it's a cool shadow then. So here we go. And we said that cool is desaturated. So we're moving it towards the gray. Towards the gray area, right? Let's see what's happening. Interesting. It looks stupid. Really looks stupid. And I'm not sure I agree with what's going on right now. But maybe I am. These lines need to go as well. I wonder if that makes any sense. Let's take a look at the values. Okay, so what I've done is the shadows aren't very dark, right? So let's pick an even darker gray to see what's gonna happen. Probably on the wrong layer as well. But screw that. This is in the name of science and art. But this sort of makes sense, doesn't it? I might be going out of my mind. But I'm thinking that this makes sense. Right? I think so. So let's turn the... Sure. I mean, yeah. Why not? Okay, this is now 34 minutes long. Let's look at the... Here we have this and this. This and this. This. Yeah, I am really not sure. I am going to say, though, simply because I'm supposed to have learned something from this. And that is that this way is correct. and this way is not. Warm lights, cool shadows. Warm lights, warm shadows. Cool, warm, cool. Yeah. I'm not sure. The thing is, the problem is also that if we look at photos, and compare the human eye is much better than any camera. So the camera kind of lies, and that's why I'm reluctant to find photos just to compare. But let's pause the video and come back with these pictures. This is weird. I had a look on Google to find some pictures. We're gonna take a look at this guy, this really happy guy. And what we can see here is that the let's compare to blues here. Let's take this one and something in shadow. How about here? Okay, so we got this blue, which is hit by cool light, and this should be a warm shadow then. Whoa. What we can see here is that not only has it been desaturated, but we have moved from the blue to the red, because red and yellow, orange is warm. Interesting. So by mixing the blue here, this blue, and red, we get the dark, we get the warm shadow. Does this apply everywhere? Let's find out. Let's take this yellow hit by some cool light, and let's find this baby. As you can see, I took it from here, from under his elbow. As you can see, we mix in more red to get the warm shadow. Hopefully. Let's do it once more. Yeah. We have clearly moved down towards the red in the shadow. Alright? So we know that now. Let's take a look at this happy camper on the beach. I figured that the sun is a very warm light source. Should be, right? And the beach here is, of course, sand, obviously. And this sand and this sand is the same sand. So this light is being hit by warm, the surface, this sand is being hit by warm light. So it's up there. And of course we have a shadow behind it that's green. You thought it was blue, so did I, but it's actually green. And green is, of course, a cool color. So with that in mind, it depends obviously on the the colors around the object or around the shadow, because just looking at this, it looks blue. Like the water is blue, and the water here is sort of blue. Yeah, apparently it's bluish turquoise something. But this is green. Because we have all of this orange around it. Okay. With that in mind, let's go back to your picture. You're probably really, really tired of this shit right now. But this is the way I learn these things. Okay, so we had an orange. And let's head towards the light to desaturate it. Let's paint it. Now this looks kind of green-ish. Could this be what we should be aiming at or for? Maybe. Maybe let's turn the opacity down a bit. Yeah, quite possibly. And what's the difference between this and this? Well, it's greener. But either way, I mean, I think that the difference is kind of subtle right now. But the main thing is to desaturate. To think blue, to add more blue and green to cool shadows, and to add more red and orange and yellow maybe for warm shadows. Is that in any way possible with these two fellas? Okay, so in this one, we already know that this is obviously they're both blue. But what about this? Let's grab this cool light. Let's aim for the purple. And it's going to be darker, of course. And we're going to push it all the way over here. Oh, hello. That looks interesting. So maybe this is the correct way. And if this was supposed to be, what was that? That was that was a light. No, that was a warm. So we're aiming for the cool. So the cool is down here, and we need to desaturate, of course. And it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it's a little variance, but not that much. Okay, this is 45 minutes long now. This is getting ridiculous. Have we learned anything? Well, I'm gonna say after reviewing the photos that this new way is probably correct. Interesting. Well, anyway, I'm going to stop right here. Thanks for listening. If you have listened, I don't know. I wouldn't have. But still, I mean, I can do this all night long. Well, all day long. It's 10:30 in the morning. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll see you around the forum or on YouTube.